Okay, so in this video, I wanted to show you how I created this event, which will trigger a chime, and then it'll make the jingle sound louder and more lively. Okay, so the first thing I did is to create the jingle, and then I created the square chime. It's just a regular chime. And then what I did is I created the trigger to trigger that chime here. And then I created the state group, which is called player hits special square, and it has two states, either a no or a yes. In this case, whenever the player hits the special square, they go into this special mode, and it's signaled by the music and the chime. So to do that, two things need to happen. The chime needs to go off, and the louder woodwind melodies will play, and then the percussions also have to play. So to do that, what you first have to do is go to the playlist container here, and under the stingers, you create a trigger, and you set this trigger to be the one that you created here in the game syncs. You tell it to play the super square chime, which you already created here, and then you make it play immediately after the trigger is triggered by the event, which I created here. Now, the event has two actions. The first one is to trigger the super square chime trigger, which in turn will play this super square chime immediately, right? And then the event will set the state which we targeted to be the player hits special square state group that we have here in the same game syncs to make it yes. So it'll do two things. It'll trigger the super square chime to play, and then it'll change the state group of the player hits special square to yes. Now, whenever the player hits special square state group is set to yes, it'll play the melodies that accompany the super special square mode. So for example, in this case, I added the clarinet melodia A special square, the violin melodia A super square, and the flute melodia A special square. These three melodies need to be added to the state group so that Wwise knows when to play them. So for example, what I did here is that I added the state group to the clarinet melodia A special square music track, and whenever it's set to no, Wwise will set the volume to be inaudible, and then whenever the state group is set to yes, it'll be an audible track. And I did the same for the flute melodia A special square, the violini melodia A super square, and the orchestral percussions. Now that we have that, we can use the event to trigger everything while the playlist container is playing the jingle. So for example, if we go to the Soundcaster here and we play the jingle, and because inside the playlist container of the orchestral jingle, we have the trigger, and the trigger is targeted by the event. If we hit play on the event, it'll change the state, here the state the player hits special square state, to a yes, and it'll play the chime. And this now signals the player that they're in a super square mode. And once the mode is over, you go back to the jingle. Let's do it one more time. And once more, the game mode is over. Alright, let me know what you think, and thank you very much for watching.